This is AJ. Welcome to the handyman process. In today's video, I'm going to talk about how you can make $1,000 a day as a handyman. It's not going to happen every day to you, but there are certain situations where you can make this kind of money. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk through 3 invoices that I had this year or work orders that I completed that each gave me about $1,000 a day. I'll break down how I got the job, how I estimated the job, how the job went. If I have video footage, I'll put it up here as well and explain basically the process of how to get these types of jobs and land them. Like I said, they don't happen all the time. You see these videos out there that $1,000 a day. You're not making $1,000 a day every day, unless if you are, give me a call and we'll work it out together. But I have these types of jobs maybe once a month, twice a month if I'm lucky. Um, Most of my jobs are less than $500, a couple $100 here and there. In a day it might add up, but the jobs that I get $1,000 in a day tend to be tougher jobs or more skilled labor jobs. So you'll see that as we go through. But go ahead and stick around to the end because I'll work from my cheapest job up to my most expensive job, invoice wise for the year, and explain all the details. Stay tuned. All right, so welcome back. Let's talk about the first job. I looked into my invoices for the year and I just stacked my jobs, the highest paying jobs down to the lowest, and I took the last 3 jobs. So this is the third most expensive job that I did for the year. And this job was replacing some deck posts. So what I'll do is after I upload the video and edit it, I'll try to put a screenshot or something here on the right hand side that shows kind of what I did and how I did it. Just a quick tip, if you want to get more high paying jobs, advertise the work. So I like to use social media or Facebook Reels or whatever to do that. But so you'll see that stuff on the side. But as I get into it, let's first of all talk about how did I get this lead. This particular job came in via a Facebook request. Somebody reached out to me and said, "Hey, I have 3 deck posts that are rotting on my back deck. I need to have them replaced." Sure, can you go ahead and send me a couple of pictures? So they sent me some pictures, zoomed in a few different spots. And I hadn't done deck posts in a long, long time. I didn't even actually have the equipment. I didn't have the jack and the other stuff that I need for that. And to be honest with you, I didn't want to do the job, but I was like, "Oh, I'm kind of curious. What are these things going for these days?" So in this particular case, I actually opened up HomeWise and took a quick look at what these things were going for. And HomeWise was saying somewhere between like $600 and $800 a piece. I was like, "Oh man, that's pretty steep." That was including the posts, and the posts aren't that expensive actually. They were 50, $60 or something for these posts, these 6 by 6 posts. But I ran the numbers, and within 5 minutes, I was like, yeah, it's going to be. In this case, I came back and said, yeah, it's going to be like $1,600. What you're looking at over here, this is actually the final paid invoice. And when I run my system, I start off with the estimate, and the estimate kind of just flows um, in this case, I used a system called Markate. It flows from the estimate to my work order and to the invoice. So what you see here is the same stuff that the client had seen in the estimate when I sent it out. But anyway, I sent it back to them really quick, $1,600, and then within a few minutes, they're like, "Great, when can we start? Oh, by the way, my husband can help out." I said, "Wow, if he's going to help out, then I can knock a little bit of money off because I was going to have to bring a helper anyway. These posts are pretty heavy." So she said, "Yeah, my husband's going to help out." I said, "Oh yeah, sure, I'll knock $150 off or something." Went ahead, scheduled the work. So that's how I got the lead. That's how I estimated. And how did the job go? I was done in probably under 3 hours. You'll see in the video that I'm showing replacing these deck posts. It's dangerous, but it's not that difficult. And the reason you get paid that much for these types of jobs is because it scares people, right? There's a lot at stake here. If you do something wrong, there can be some catastrophic consequences. So I took my time. I went slow, and essentially what I just did is I put in a temporary brace, jacked the deck up, knocked the old post out, drill a hole down in the bottom of the concrete to put some anchors in, cut and fit the new post, secure it to the bottom, secure it to the top, remove the temporary jack, and move on to the next one. So I just moved my way along. You get a little bit quicker each one you do. The helper that I had was fantastic and great. So again, I was in and out of there. There's some logistics in this one of transporting the stuff back and forth, but the homeowner didn't blink an eye, right? It gave them peace of mind, and $1,600 was no big deal for them. So this is one example of a job that you can do that you can easily make $1,000 a day. I don't get these jobs as often as I'd like to, but they do pop up from time to time and stuff. So I'm going to break it up a little bit here before I jump into the next charge. And I'm kind of curious what your thoughts are. Do you think I overcharged or undercharged for the kind of work that I did here? I know I'm going to get mixed feelings from people out there, but if you have an idea or you have a thought, you've done this kind of job, or you're a homeowner, go ahead and drop a comment down in the bottom. Just let me know overcharge, undercharge. I'm kind of curious where people are sitting with that. But anyway, with that being said, let's move on to the next one. So moving on to the next job, this one was replacing a rotted shed floor. This is a very labor intensive job. So I told you the previous job, in and out 3 hours, fairly straightforward. This is a dirty, uh, labor intensive job. And again, I'll put a video over here on the side to kind of show you what it looked like, and a link to the video that I made for that. But how did I get this particular lead? I believe this one came in on Nextdoor, if I remember correctly. Anyway, they said, "Hey, I saw you," and this actually goes back to my previous statement about recording your work and sharing it on social media. So I had done one of these floor replacements not too long ago. I made a video about it. I posted it. Generally, when I post things, I post them to Google, I post them to Facebook, and I post them to Nextdoor. This woman had seen one of my videos. She said that's exactly what I need, and that's the purpose of making the videos. Is you're reminding your clients, oh, I need to have that done. So this was a perfect example of they were reminded, they knew I could do it, they saw the video proof, so they reached out to me. They reached out to me. They gave me some numbers associated with the floor. How big was it? I don't know if I have the dimensions in here, but anyway, I got the dimensions. In this particular case, I just kind of figured out, okay, how many sheets of plywood do I need for this particular job? That will give me my cost associated for those pieces of lumber. In this case, it was about 5 sheets. I marked my materials up. Everybody should be marking your materials up because I had to spend the time to go there, get them, bring them back, whatnot. So go ahead and mark up your materials. And then in terms of labor to install, if I was just going to lay this down on top of the old floor, pretty straightforward, pretty quick. But I knew I was going to be at least lifting up the old plywood and putting this stuff down. I don't know if I'm going to have to rebuild the floor structure or not until I get there. I usually ask the homeowners, hey, when you walk in there, is it spongy? Or are you bouncing up and down? If so, then I know I had to replace it. But I like to keep this as a separate priced option for a couple of reasons. First of all, I may not have to do it, and second of all, it's like maybe it gives the homeowner a little bit of hope. Well, maybe it'll only be 695 if he doesn't have to do all of this stuff. But more than likely, I got to do all this stuff. I just don't like to show up to a house and be like, "Oh man, I wasn't expecting that," because I am expecting it, right? So I expect it, I price it out, and that's what it looks like. So in this case, I had to do everything. It's a, like I said, labor intensive job. Plan on spending a lot of time there. Use pressure treated lumber. So the whole 9 yards. Went over there, did all that stuff. After materials, I forget, I had $700 in my pocket. That was actually after taxes and stuff. So still over $1,000 a day. These are tough days. I would probably only want to do 2 of these days a month just because of how tough they are. I probably could have charged more, to be honest with you, because not a lot of people are going to do this kind of work. You'll see the video that I make. Like if you do jobs that people don't want to do, you can make money all day long. But this is example number two of how you can make $1,000 a day as a hand. Now I'm kind of curious. Right? You're watching my videos. You're either like, man, this guy's full of full of it, or he's undercharging, because I get both sides of the comments. So I'm kind of curious. What's the most you've ever made in a day as a handyman? Go ahead and drop your story down there, not just for me, but for everybody watching these videos. If you got other ways of making money, or you would have charged a little bit more, go ahead and share your knowledge with people. Let them know. And if you're like, man, that's ridiculous. You should never charge more than X amount of dollars, which I got a comment about 5 minutes ago about that. Go ahead, jot that down as well. I like the dialogue that kind of goes back and forth with these comments. Anyway, the third one ended up being my most expensive job of the year, and I'm going to move the camera over here quite a bit because this is quite a job. This happened to be a rental turnover checklist. So I have a couple of clients that are landlords, and the landlords, when they're changing out clients, they always have a list of things that need to do. A lot of them will just be like bare necessities, changing um, batteries in smoke detectors or light bulbs or whatnot, to various different things. This particular client, she's very particular about what she does. She keeps immaculate properties, so she gave me this whole list. And how did I get the lead? It's somebody I work with all the time. So she just reaches out to me. She's great because she schedules. This is all on a sticky notes when I show up at the house. It's about the best client you can kind of ask for. In terms of estimating, I like to give her options of what is it going to cost for all these particular things. And this job I did a while back, so I probably priced myself a little bit low. And if you've been watching my channel for a while, you know I'm a part-time guy working weeknights and weekends. So I think I spread this job out over, I want to say, a couple of weeknights for like 2 hours, and then maybe a Saturday. So if I was to squeeze it all into one day, which I could have, um, it would have been a 1 day job making over $1,000, and then have all. Actually, I barely had any materials into this one. So you could have made well over $1,000 if you get a list like this. But let's kind of walk through the list. The first one was assembling a cabinet. So this one was great. She actually dropped the cabinet off at my house before I ever even did the job, and I just had my oldest son put it together. So boom, easy money right there. One of those Chinese cabinets. It's a pain, but it was my son's pain, so no big deal. The next one is I had to remove some stuff that was already in the laundry room, take down some wire shelves and some other stuff, and put this cabinet up. I don't think I have a video for this one. If I do, I'll find it. I'll put it somewhere. I knew this was a little bit labor intensive, so about 294 on that. Again, this is all in my head. I'm not going to HomeWise or anything else for this. I'm just walking myself through, well, it's going to take me this amount of time and that amount of time, and I charge X amount per hour. And this is a great client, so I reduce that. It's art and science kind of mixed together for all of these bits and pieces here. The third one of painting the laundry room wall and ceiling. It was a small room, but it was tight and confining. Same process. Okay, I got to move stuff around. I'm going to be there. There's a lot of little trim work, just numbers in my head multiplied by the hours. Replacing smoke detector batteries, no big deal on that one. Light fixtures. Normally I'm 125 for light fixtures. She had six of them, right? And this is, like I said, a great client of mine. So I can change light fixtures in a few minutes. So $65 a piece, uh, about half of what I normally charge, but for six of them, yeah, there you go, great deal. Ceiling fan in the living room. I'm usually 150 for a ceiling fan. I would have lowered it in this case, but it was a high ceiling, so I kept it at 150. Fan in the bedroom. I had to do something to this one. I forgot exactly what it was. I adjusted it some form or fashion to make it work better. Put a new doorbell in. Actually, I think tweaked the wires on that one. Painting the shed. I actually underbid on this one. This was a bigger project than I had anticipated. I should have been probably 350, 375 on this because it took a little bit of time. But I still knocked it out. I think I knocked it out in maybe in 2 hours in all to knock that one out. Still not bad. 2 hours, 125 an hour for that. But I hate painting, so I I like to charge a little bit more for painting. Uh, Building new shelves in the front closet. Yeah, so I took the stuff that I took out of the laundry room and just basically rebuilt it in this closet. Again, no materials on my part. Uh, there was some touch up paint I had to do. That was a real small area right there. Had to do some touch up paint in the living room ceiling and remove a few things from there as well. Paint part of the back door, change a filter, hang a curtain rod, change out a switch for the ceiling fan. So big long list, right? And I give it to the client, signs it off, no problem. I complete the work, and so the number up here says 2284, but she actually gave me a $300 tip. I'm telling you, this is my favorite client. I wish I could just work for her all the time. She really takes care of me. She actually just gave me a Christmas gift, so she does it every year. I truly appreciate it and very thankful for it. So this was my most expensive job for the year in terms of just one job with one list. So if you find clients like this, if you have landlords that have rental turnovers, you can kind of see what I did. You can roll it all together. It really depends on who you're dealing with and what they like to see. But if I had a job like this every week, man, that's all I would do. I would just take jobs like this. I'd make a couple thousand as a part-time guy and be done with it. If you're a full-time guy and you can knock a few of these out a week, start to do the math, right? You're starting to make some serious money there. So great way to do things. But why do I do all this, right? Why? why am I making YouTube? Why am I doing handyman stuff? Why am I explaining to you guys to do all this stuff? We all have our goals, right? Uh, my goal is to retire one day, whether it's at a beach or somewhere else. Like I want to work hard now while I can. And if you're, especially if you're young and you're like, now's the time. Get into it, kill it, right? Go after these jobs, do a good job, build up your reputation. Because when you get a little bit older, like I'm starting to get a little bit older, you start to think, okay, where does this end, right? You don't want to be the 60-year-old guy, 70-year-old guy turning wrenches because you have to. You want to have that kind of behind you so you can be here on the beach or wherever you want to be doing whatever you want to be doing. And if you're like, I just want to be in my wood shop working, then so be it. Just put a picture like this on the wall and relax while you're in your wood shop doing your thing. But figure out what is your why, and that's the point of this picture in the screen behind me. What is your why? Why do you want to do this kind of work? Why do you want to make this kind of money? And where is it leading to? Because if it's just leading to making money, you're going to burn out. If it's leading to some other destination in your life, then those days when it's not so good, I'll try to put a video up here of how to lose money as a handyman. That's one of my recent videos because you're gonna have days that suck. You're gonna have days that you don't make any money, right? You give a refund back to somebody because something went wrong. So take these $1,000 days, enjoy them, and try to use it to offset some of those other bad days. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you like this kind of content, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button, give me a thumbs up, and stay tuned for the next one. Take care.
Step into the unknown, 'cause this is where